Well, hello YouTubers, subscribers. If you're not subscribing, hit that button down there. I got this other camera in here so I can see you guys' comments since I got the camera facing the other way. I welcome you all for joining. Hello, Kevin Yu. No, I haven't switched up my mat lately. Actually, what I have here is actually the multi-sluice with the small wave mat from Gold Hog. If you saw in my last videos, I couldn't use it, but I did use it in the piglet and the extension. It did fairly well. So I set this up on the multi-sluice because I haven't used it under it yet. I know Ray up in Alaska has used it a lot. Shout out to him. But I got a half a bucket of sand, and I'm setting this up to do that today because I'm bored. I'm actually housebound since Friday, and I'll show you why. Foot of snow. So I'm not really going anywhere, and I haven't gone anywhere since Friday about midday. So a little bit of cabin fever going on, but I figured I have never gone live, so bear with me. This is the first time I'm even doing this, but I got quite a bit to talk about this year. I figured I'd share that out with everyone. What I plan on doing for the 2019 season. Was going to try to hit to the beach this weekend, but that's not going to happen. It probably ain't going to happen again next weekend because apparently we're going to have some of this sticking around for a little while. It's unusual for Seattle area to get this much snow. In fact, I can't remember this much, probably 10 years since we've had this much. But, you know, you can't get to work, so no work, no income. So if you saw my last video with the wave mat from Gold Hog, it actually did pretty well. So if you're going to end up running a sluice, it's actually a pretty good mat to be out there. Running it, it did fairly well, along with the mother-low mat. If you're going to use the cube, stick with the sawtooth mat. It works great. We are going to be making a trip out in March to meet up with Alan Robinson. And if you haven't checked out his channel, I suggest do, because the man can make a spaceship out of buckets, C-clamps, and a little bit of silicone. So check out his channel. I'm going to be meeting up with him and his partner coming in March and spend some time together and prospect on the beach. So let's take a look at some of you guys' messages here. Good luck, Bob Gleese. You're going to try your luck at the shores of Lake Superior this year. I'd like to go there sometime. It would be nice. Hello, Smoky Coins. Hello, Ron for the Hills Mining. Welcome to the channel. So, also plan on in March, I think it's the 23rd and 24th, GPAA has in their gold show at the Washington State Fairgrounds up here in Puyallup, Washington. And I'm thinking about taking our sawtooth mats out there and some other products out there and sit behind a booth and just chit chat with everyone coming by. I know Mike Pung's going to be out there and selling the gold cube, along with Date on Monday afterwards. He's invited a lot of people to go out to the beach, so I might, join him for that on a Monday and sluice with Mike Pung. Also be featuring a sluice that's coming out that I've put together. You can go to my website right now and check it out, but I'm not putting any much Fort Worth on it. It's just not the time of the year to be selling that at the moment. So that's for something to be looking forward into the future with videos. I've been shooting videos using it, testing it, trying to correct things here and there, trying to make it one sluice that I think will just about fit anybody. If everything goes well at the Gold Show in Puyallup, then I do plan on heading down to the Portland show at the Expo Center. So we'll see how well it does up in Washington first before I head down there. Because I don't know, I got a lot of Portland buyers and fans down there in Oregon. They like to come up to the Washington beaches because our Washington beaches are just a little bit more relaxed than the Oregon beaches. So I see a lot of Oregon plates up there, and to a lot of Oregon prospectors on the beach out there. So you're in Oregon, Kevin. You're not yet. You're not far from us. You know where we go. You enjoy doing that. Yeah, you do see a lot of gold cubes on the beach. You see a lot of sluices too. So it's whatever you got for preferences. You want to find a mat that actually works best with the cube, a mat that works best with the sluice. I have tried many of them, and I personally have my favorites. So I know everyone has their own favorites, but it is really super fine gold. So you don't need a whole lot of GPH. You don't need. What you do need is a lot of sluice. Because you can have 50 feet of sluice out on that beach, and you're still going to find gold at the end. So the more sluice you got, more cubic feet, which 10 is a legal limit, the better off you're going to end up taking more of that gold home. Ron, for the Hills Mining, no, I have not tried those mats. Yes, I have tried the Dream mat out there. All mats can collect gold. I had 2 trays last year with the Dream mat in it. The only problem that I found is the feed rate could not match the other mats. You know, it's a good mat if you want to use it. I personally, it's just my own personal opinion, I didn't like it because it slowed my feed rate down because it would back up. Right in the slot there, as it comes up, it would just pile up inside there, and it just wouldn't freed out. Another thing too with it is it left a lot of cons. A lot of cons. Extra cons, extra black sand I just don't need. So, just because it is a thicker mat, it does stand tall when it sits in a cube. It's a pretty tall mat. In a cube, you want something that's low profile. Does it catch gold? Yeah, it catches gold. You just have extra cons, but again, you gotta slow down your feed rate. So I did remove them. This year, my cube is pretty much 90%, 85% sawtooth mat. That's all I use. It really breaks up the sand, drops the gold easy. It just, you know, you treat the beach sand like a slurry, and as it's just going over all of those riffles that are in the sawtooth mat, it has time to drop. So, and the cons is not as bad. So you're left with very few cons on it. So I'm sticking with that this year. I will be using the multi-sluice at the end of the cube, as you guys always see them in my videos. But I think this year I'm just going to end up using this wave mat, a small wave mat, behind it, and see how well it does on the field. So last year I was using pretty much the mother load mat, so now I'm going to try just the wave mat. I might even make a wave mat slash mother load mat at the end of it. So I'll still be running 9.25 cubic feet of sluice space again. I would run more, but my wife, she's not that tall. She's already standing on a stool, so I can't squeeze in 10 square feet on that. No, I wasn't running too slow of a flow for the matting. I've used a lot of different mats out on the beach, and where I find my feed rate versus my catch rate, which is always a fine line, I try to judge my sluice at the best performance to move basically 3 buckets an hour. So a bucket every 20 minutes. It's about as fast as I want to go. It's about the fastest the sluice can handle. Sure, if you want to move a little slower because you think you're losing the gold, in my opinion, volume gives you more gold. So I'm all about pushing it. So every time I'm out there, my goal is always set, if possible, 20 buckets per day. Some days are less, some days are more, depends on the weather, but my flow that I use with my sluices is right about 3 buckets an hour. Yes, I tried a blue bowl, didn't like it. That is just the most hideous thing I've ever had to use. Not a fan of it. Tried it, it's too time consuming. Gold Hawk brought out the multi-sluice and the stripper mat, trying to catch that beach gold. When I'm all done, 2 tablespoons. Yes, it's very hard to pan out, but I can get 95% to 98% of the black sand out of my gold panning it. So it can be done. It is time consuming. So I end up at the beach until about usually the first part or the middle part of May. After that, my rivers and the spring flow is coming close to an end, so I have more access to rivers. I didn't put out a lot of videos last year with me at the rivers. I was more of just testing all the rivers around me. I've caught some video, but I didn't release it. But I do plan on getting out and doing a little bit more river prospecting at a couple close rivers that it's pretty good gold. It's small, but it's pretty good gold. And all the areas that I've been testing, one area seems to be really good and seems to be consistent, so I'll be doing a lot of that this year. But I'm also thinking about heading up over to Idaho when the snow melts up over there, and actually looking into purchasing a couple claims up there. Beach mining is fun, it's great, but not only am I on claims or on public property, it'd just be nice to have my own claim to go to. That way I can set it up the way I want it, not worrying about so many people being on it. That way I could dredge. Dredging rules in Idaho are a little less forgiving than they are here. So that's my plan is this summer is to actually purchase a claim or 2 up in Idaho. I did start up an Instagram today, so if you guys want to follow my adventures here this year, I'm planning on being a little better because I'm not really a social media type of guy, but I did start up an Instagram site, so when I'm out and about, if you guys want to know where I'm at, interested in what I get, how's the conditions, follow me on Instagram at Washington Beach Mining. Information's down in the description. Also started to open up a Patreon account. I see a lot of gold prospectors doing it. Do I need the funds through Patreon? No, not really. But it is an outreach, and I see how it affects other gold miners and prospectors dealing with their patrons that come in. They help them out, they're engaged, and I figured, well, why not? So I'll set up some tiers under it, and all the tiers will end up being giveaways You know, I'd be giving away 1 pounds of black sand, some Green River pay dirt. I'll ship it out to the winner. Speaking of that, I have a 1 pound bag of black sand from the beach and a pound of Green River pay dirt. Leave a comment down below, and I will give both of those away next Sunday at 5 p.m. Do that live too, and we'll use a computer generator to actually pick out the winner for it. So again, just leave a comment down below. Always subscribe so you can always know when I got another video coming out, which I'll be doing that quite often here this year. As soon as all the snow gets away, I'm back out on the beach. I've heard of the super chat. I kind of heard about that. I did look into it for a little bit. I looked into it a little bit more. You know, I kind of watched one of their introductions on it. I thought it was kind of cool. So, but I'm new at this. This is the first time I've gone live. So, can everyone hear me okay? Everything's all right? You can hear me? What was my total goal for 2018? Well, actually, just about 3/4 of an ounce total. Well, that's pretty much about all I got to say. I don't think you guys want to watch me run this, but one, it gets pretty loud in here. But that's all I have to say. Again, leave a comment if you guys want to take an opportunity for a chance to win those. Again, follow me on Instagram account at Washington Beach Mining. You can visit my website at washingtonbeachmining.com. Alright, well, we've got 62 Jeff says I should run it. Let's run a little bit. Might get a little loud, sorry about the pump noise or the water noise. So the sand that I have here is only a half a barrel, and it's just raw. It ain't concentrates. I always tend to bring me some home for testing. This will actually be the first time I used the mat and the multi-sluice. Other than me testing it out there in the field, come to find out it was just too much water for my dual barrel system, so I could not use it. But we did pretty good. You know, 11 barrels or 11 buckets for 1 gram of gold. Oh, something I should show you. Let's see if you can see this. So, never had too much of a problem with gold sticking to Gold Hog's mats. But there's still gold in these mats. And I scrub them with a brush, including the extension mat. So I still got some gold here that did not actually collect off of these. Well, sure, you got to scrub them. Maybe after a little bit of while of use, you don't have to do that anymore, because I never really had to, but I had to use a brush on these to get the gold off of it. So that's a good thing. that it stays. It doesn't go anywhere. But just kind of have to use a brush probably for the first few times. So I'll clean those. So I got the sluice right about 10 degrees, and I'm actually running it at 800 GPH just to see how well it does and clears out. Now I know Ray's done some excessive testing on this. I didn't really do any house testing. I like my testing done in the field. Thanks for letting me know, 62 Jeff. Wasn't sure if this water is going to overpower my voice. This is considered my gold room. Ain't nothing but equipment, trays, dirt, mats. Some have man caves. This is my gold cave. Yes, you can find gold in Home Depot sand, but it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Here's a fact. Apparently there's over, I can't remember, if it's 10 million or 10 billion, worth 10 billion pounds worth of gold in the ocean. I don't know where I read that fact, but I thought it was interesting. A lot of gold in the ocean. That's what 800 GPH looks like. I didn't run 1100, that's all. I got a reducer in there slowing it down. Let me add a scoop of sand. Seems to be clearing out pretty good for such a low GPH. You're going to see quite a bit of the gold right there already. I would love to go up to Alaska and do a trip up there. Closest I got to it was pay dirt from Alaska and their beach sands. It was pretty tough. It was pretty tough to pan out. But I find Washington Beach gold to be the hardest, and I think Ray up in Alaska can agree with that. And the reason for it is the sand is so fine and the gold matches the sand. They're basically red the same. Yes, this gold can easily float if it's not running through all of the rotating action. It will actually float. Every time I usually shut my sluice down and you let it sit for more than 2 minutes, gold starts up and floating and wants to run out. Yeah, I get asked that a lot. Do I remove the magnets first before running the sand, or before I run the cons? If I did that, I'd be doing that for about 2 hours, 3 hours, because all of it, I would say 80% of this is magnetic. And you really have to have the sand dry to remove the black sand without removing the gold in it. So I don't remove black sand in water because it pulls the gold back up along with it. So I just don't use any removal of magnets. I just don't use them. I get it all the way down to the pan and down. I've tried it. In the beginning, I've tried it. It took me longer doing that than trying to do it the old-fashioned way. How many times I run the cons? Twice. And every time I run the cons, the ratio seems to be about the same. When I'm done running the first run, I catch 90% of it. 10% is left behind. So, am I going to run 10% or run it again for 10%? It's less than a gram, probably not. But if I come home with 5 grams and I got a 10% loss, that's a half a gram. So yes, I do run it the second time. Flower Go Wizard, does your gal enjoy lifting her arm to feed the super stack? No, she does not. No, she doesn't. She gets a little tired after a while, so I always end up switching out, giving her a break. We kind of got ourselves a little system going where we can keep it running and keep the tubs empty. I can keep the buckets full. I can keep enough water there where I pretty much do all that and she does the scooping, and then I relieve her from the scooping. She is a trooper though. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be going through that much gold or that much sand. Do you need permits? Yes, you do need permits. But the permits is basically free. You have to go online to Washington Gold and Fish Pamphlet, print that up, and that's your permit or your license. It is free, but you have to print it and you have to carry it, and you got to know the rules in it. So follow the rules, have that permit on you, and you're good to go. And that's not just for the beach, that's for any river in Washington. But not every river is available year-round. The beach is available year-round. There's a lot of restrictions on rivers in Washington State, where you have a window of opportunity to go cross stuff. What are the basic rules? Well, the basic rules is you can go to the beach year-round. You can go to a river year-round. It's just you have to be on the high bank. Your shovel cannot touch the river unless it's in a certain time restriction that they allow you. So pretty much those time restrictions are for people to keep the shovel out, keep the dredges out of the rivers during those certain times. Because Washington has a lot of fish in our rivers, so they're out trying to protect that. It's understandable. There's only certain times you can go, not to affect the eggs or the fish in general. But you can high bank on the side. You can look for gold on the side of all the rivers. You just cannot put your shovel in it. I would love to have an auto feeder. Somebody out there create one. But I find when you keep it consistent on the sand, you have a better chance of collecting the gold. Alright. I've done quite a few scoops. Let's let this run a little bit. Let it clear out. Give you guys a show of what I got so far. Actually, the sawtooth mat, its peak efficiency is 800 GPH. No testing's been done on that. So 900 doesn't hurt. I've ran the sawtooth mat under my sluice that's coming out. It has a sawtooth mat in it. I ran that at 1100, and it does really good. But yeah, for beach sands, it is best about 800. The sawtooth mat was actually designed around the gold cube. Your gold cube, if you take a measure, you have different angles of the gold cube, anywhere between 14.5 to 15.5 degrees. So the sawtooth mount was actually designed off that degrees and running 1100. If you're going to run 800, you want to bring some of that down. It's too high. I feel that on my stacker, I do have a control valve. In fact, I'm running 1100 with a 6-foot pump, so I'm only up practically at 900 already, running that water up to the top of the cube. I dial it back down just a little bit. It runs pretty good at 800. It all depends on your material. It all depends on your material. Every area is different. So it's not one setup that works. It's all about your material. My next trip out, I do plan on running the stacker this year. It'll be the first time this year for one day. And then the second day, Doc from Gold Hawk sent me out some big wave mat and some other little mats. So I'm going to try that on the second day. I am going to run the big wave mat in the piglet and the extension. I will make a video of that. And I plan on testing that. I mean, I think it's a huge mat. But we're going to run it under 1100 GPH. We're going to run 3 buckets. And then I'm going to run it under 2000 GPH. Another 3 buckets. And then I'm going to run a 3500 pump with 3 buckets. Obviously changing my angles to see what works best with each of those, so I can do some testing if anybody's going to use the sluice. I probably wouldn't recommend a big wave mat. It's more of, let's see how it works. Doc's curious, I'm curious. And then I'm going to just go at the end and just go hog wild and find the right angle to clear out real easy. And I'm going to push 6 buckets in 1 hour through the system. Am I going to lose gold? Or am I going to catch them all within an hour? So, that'll be fun. So our second day trip out there, next time I can get out beyond the snow. That's what I plan on doing, so that's something if you're interested in. Watch for that video to come out. I'm sure Gold Hog will put it on their site too. Okay, what did I run? Maybe 25, 30 scoops if that. I don't know if you guys can see it. Well, yeah, see, it's not so much up top. It really starts hanging out right about here. So I'd say about 1/4 of the way down. I don't know if you guys can see that, but not a whole lot of black sand left over if you let it clean out, so I'll give this mat some credit. I know some have tried to put it in their cube, and even Doc's tried it. I wouldn't make it your primary mat, but so I do want to give some shout outs to people that I follow, people I watch, people I enjoy looking at their videos. Doc from Gold Hog is one. Dan Hurd, learned a lot from Dan Hurd, especially about rivers and where to find it and such. Bogus Prospecting, AU79, Kessler Guitars, Bustin' Knuckles. So if you guys never seen any of their videos, those are the videos I watch. I mean, they're true prospectors. Pioneer Polly makes really good videos too. Right along with Gus, he really takes his time and makes good videos. So I don't. I work too much. So those are some of the prospectors I follow online on a day-to-day basis, just because I enjoy what they do in their area. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see about trying to do more of these. Maybe when I come back for the weekends and I'm doing cleanups, I can do it live. If you don't think that's boring, we'll see how many people tune in. So again, don't forget, comment down the bottom Sunday night. If I'm not going out prospecting, I'll draw it. I'll do it live. Until then, thanks for following, subscribe, and thanks for watching.